Hey guys, and welcome back to another map first impressions video. Today we're going to take a look at Nagce Valley by Chasey Dog. Now the copy that I have is a pre-release model, not model, a pre-release map. This map should be released on July 21st, and that should be tomorrow if you're watching this on the same day that this video airs. I was privileged enough to get a pre-release copy of this map way back in May, and that was back when the map was originally scheduled to be released in early June, but due to some testing and some issues found, and Chasey Dog's commitment to quality over quantity and getting the map out when it's done, not when it was desired to be out, the map was delayed for about 2 months, and here it is. So let's go ahead and jump on in. And as you can see, Nagce, as I'm calling it, simply stands for Not Another Goldcrest Edit, but I just like calling it Nagce because it just sounds so much better than Not Another Goldcrest Valley Edit. I'm going to go ahead and pick up our gator. We're going to pull up the log. Completely ignore these warnings. They relate to a map that we are not looking at today, or the Repair Toolbox mod. So looks like we have additional crop types on this map. We've got a Compost Master and a diesel fuel plant, and we're loading up our starting equipment, of which we seem to have a fair bit of. Alright, now I will give the disclaimer that the starting equipment may change between this release that I'm working on and the final release, so don't fall too much in love with the starting fleet, but it's probably pretty close to what we've got here. So let's go ahead and take a look at the map itself. So you can see we've got some fairly large fields. We own fields 1, 6, 7, 5, 13, and 14, of which 13 and 14 are both grass. We have our standard crop types plus oat, rye, spelt, millet, and triticale. I don't really know how you'll pronounce that, but that's how I'm going to do it. I'm doing this video on hard mode, so in hard mode we don't have any crops in our silo system. You can see we have basically 3 main sell points for the majority of our crops. We also have a sell point for 2 sell points for fuel. We have a sell point for milk. Our biogas plant will take manure and slurry, as well as silage. And this is compost. So we have a compost sell point also. Pretty low price for compost right now. Hopefully that'll go up. So here's our list of starting equipment. And as you can see, we start out with all the equipment is fairly new with low operating hours. So daily maintenance won't be too terrible bad, given the fleet size we have, and nothing is leased. So let's go ahead and take out a loan so we can buy some animals on our tour. And we have all 3 animal types on this map, with no animals at the start, and all of our food troughs are empty. Our silo has a capacity of 350,000 liters. So this map is seasons prepared. It does have a snow mask in place. The trees will change color throughout the seasons. And there are a few other niceties that have been added. I know that Chasey Dog was talking about over at PCSG. This map will be released over at PCSG. So I don't have a link, obviously, because the map's not been released yet. But once the map is released, I will add that to the description. But basically just know that the plan is on Friday, July 21st, this map will be released over at PCSG's website. So this is an interesting career start point. You basically start here at the main driveway of the farm. We can walk up the drive. You know, it's as if we were dropped off by a friendly town resident that we hitchhiked in on. Here we have our farmhouse. with some nice little farm house in the back with a lawnmower. We've got a little logs here we're cutting, and we've got a pole here with a nice retaining support guide with a kind of plastic around the wire so you don't chop your head off when you run into it. So you see those in America all over the place, for those that aren't familiar. Let's go ahead and take a look here at our buildings and the farm layout. Well, I guess let's look at our starting fleet, right? We should know what we're going to have. So we start out with 4 tractors. We have a Valtra in, 145 horsepower. We have 2 Massey Fergusons, and we have a Challenger. This little Challenger tractor is pretty rare to see in the starting fleet, so it's pretty cool that it's been added, so you can kind of play with it. We have our front loader arms. We have a bucket, pallet, and bale fork. This is a round bale fork, actually, not a standard bale fork. Front loader with a bucket and front loader pallet forks. Second front loader, wheel loader, not front loader, wheel loader. We have a wheel loader silage fork. We have the large case 9230 harvester with both corn header and grain header. We have 2 AgriLiner tippers, 21,000 and 45,000 liters respectively. We have the large all-rounder cultivator, a large plow, 2 seeders, one for your row crop and one for your standard crops. We have a fertilized spreader, and we have the big spreader, and we have the small fertilized sprayer. Slurry spreader, manure spreader. We have our lily mowers with lily tedder and windrower and forage wagon. We have our bale wagon. We have a round baler and our round bale wrapper. It's convenient that we have a round baler and bale wrapper and round bale forks. Sometimes you see maps have the wrong combination of those. We've got our leveler we start out with, a water trailer, and a power washer. So pretty much everything you're going to want to use from the start to get going with animals and everything else is already included. So we leased up our gator. Let's take a look and try to find the shop. The shop is way down here. And let's see if we can find our gator without was I on it? There it is. Let's hit reset and see what happens to it. So where is it? So we are on the main farm, right up where we start out. So we start right here, and so we're right up from where we started. So let's just jump over here and take a little tour of the main farm. So the main farm, we've got these storage sheds off to the side. They do have collisions on the walls, so you could tip anywhere into these. Right now they're just storage places for some of your starting fleet. Here we have a fuel storage point, so you can put fuel in at this point, and you can draw fuel out at this point to fill your tractors. Got our pressure washer here by our water tap. Got some nice old tractors in here in the shop being worked on. Here's our customization area and repair area if you're using seasons. The shop is all nicely lit up, even during the day. I wonder if there's a switch that we can flip. Looks like it's just lit up. So here's our silo system. These big old dryers hanging off the side of them. So the way this particular silo system works is you come in and you tip into here, and then you'll fill out of this area. Okay. So that's how that works. That's just a decorative. It doesn't do anything. So here's some of our starting tractors. We have our large 8000 series Massey Ferguson with duals. He's all dirtied up. It looks like he's been out plowing. And then we've got our other two tractors here, nice and clean. I believe our plow is over here. Again, he's all dirtied up. Big old plow for a big old fields. Then we have our harvester over here, equipped with tracks and a huge pipe. I really get a kick out of seeing this tractor with this giant pipe on it. Our harvester, sorry about that. And we've got the Case IH header with removable built-in wheels. There's our corn header. And over here we've got a fill point for liquid fertilizer, seed, and solid fertilizer. So before we go and check out the pig area, let's go ahead and get in our gator so we can drive around. Let's go ahead and zoom on out. So I really like how we've got this these power lines or telephone lines, whatever we want to call them, scattered around with the guy poles, the guy wires. And the guy wires are always going to be positioned opposite whatever direction the line is going to give the pole support. So I like how it is positioned in that direction, and over here it's positioned in the right direction, completely opposite, to provide support to the pole, so the pole doesn't end up being pulled in the direction that the line is in. So that shows some nice attention to detail and understanding of basically how and why those exist. So here we have our pig area. So the main farm is basically the pig farm. We have our manure pit right over here. And then we have basically 3 tip anywhere points here. These have collisions on them, so you can tip product into here as far as pig food goes. We have 2 nice storage sheds to put whatever we need that's related to the pigs here. Don't tip product into here. This is going to be your manure point. Here's your slurry. And around the corner here should be where we buy our piggies. We have our water trough, food trough, and a buy point. Let's go ahead and buy up our Piggy Wigglies. And there they are. This is going to be where you put your straw. If the straw bale there wasn't big enough of a hint. And this map has included customized buy icons for the fields. Let's go ahead and take a look at these. So, Grassfield Agricultural Properties, land for sale. ChasyDog.net. So, Field 4 is 21.22 hectares, basically, $1.7 million. Field 4. So, there's Field 4. Field 3. Field 1 you own. I believe that's the largest field on the map. We'll check out Field 3 here in a little bit. So let's run on back to the gator. Alright, so we're going to take this this back road. We're going to follow these poles, and we're going to come on around to the crop watch, field and grain, and the windrow sales. Let's kind of take a look. That's where we're going. It's hard to see, but that's where we're going over there. There's a couple of the fields there. There's our main farm. Alright, so let's check out the price of this field. So this field is 33.88 hectares, $2.7 million. And it'll take you just over an hour to fertilize this field for $24,000. Let's follow these power lines to our next destination. So the map overall is fairly flat. There's some nice rolling hills here and there, but nothing too extreme. But definitely we have big fields on this map, and overall this map is fairly friendly for large equipment. As you can see, we've got pretty wide access here around all of these. The fields are fairly open accessed. We've got some poles and whatnot close to them, but not overly close. We have field 15 is a grass field that's already been planted in grass. So let's take a look at this buy point. Here we have Crop Watch Field and Grain. I like the stenciling there on the side of the wall, side of the wood wall here. Windrow Grass Trail Sales. That's nicely marked. We've got some silos around back to store the grain that we sell here. Again, we've got these guy wires. Awesome. Awesome attention to detail on this map. I really like these wildflowers. Really pretty wildflowers here in this little patch. And we got a forestry area, a little forestry, and then that's the map boundary. Going to go into the deep dark tunnel of secrets. Nice long ramp here, so it should be fairly easy on belly drop trailers. Whoopsie daisy. So this ramp should be very easy on belly drop style trailers, which often people like to use in American style maps. Let's see if we can't get ourselves. There we go. Easy, nice long run-ins to the cell area, easy turns to bring those big trailers in, or maybe tandem trailers. So let's take this road over here and head on down to the shop and the biogas plant. So we've got a bit of road construction going on here. And this grass off to the left here is one of the fields that we own. It's already planted in grass. I hope we gave permission to them to be tearing up our grass there for whatever construction project they got going on. So we got a nice forestry, bit of forestry off to our left and right as we come down this road. Got a barbed wire fence there. Now let's go ahead and swing on in here to the biogas plant. I know the biogas plant was giving Chasey Dog quite a bit of grief leading up to the map release. In fact, I think he's had at least 3 different silage bunkers in here, and has finally settled on these as kind of working the best for his map. So we have over here, this is where we're going to be making our biofuel. So let's see if we can find an information screen. I think it might be maybe over here. There we are. So this particular biogas plant takes digestate and compost and produces biofuel. So we put our compost in here, we put our digestate here, and we get biofuel out of here. Now this particular area, when I first was looking at this map in May, I was a little confused as to what this was. But then I later realized this is a storage area for your compost. So instead of basically you have built-in storage, you can bring your compost over here and dump it, and then pick it up and put it in the biogas area as you need it. Here we have a nice storage shed for any equipment that we might have down here. One of our wheel loaders is already positioned down here. We have 5 large bunkers for silage. And here's our Compost Master. And if you're not familiar with the Compost Master, you come in here with any type of biodegradable material, be it grass, hay, silage, straw, wood chips, potatoes, sugar beets, and in theory compost itself. And you bring in fuel. You put your fuel here, you put your biomass stuff here, and you'll get compost out. Over here, it will pile up, and then you'll just scoop it up and do what you want with it. And we have our digestate tank over here. We have our Silo King right there. So that's our BGA area. You enter and exit through the scale. And across the street we have a sell point and the main store. So here we have a buy point for fuel. Oh no, this is not about, this is storage, sorry. So you bring your fuel in here from your biogas plant and you can store it in here, and then this is where you would fill up your vehicles. Here we have another wheel loader. The John Deere back there is just decoration, sorry. Don't get your hopes up. And over here we have our store. It's a nice little old country equipment store. A nice little display of old equipment here. An old little old trailer, and I guess that's a windrower of some sort. A little picnic area for the staff. Have a lunch break. Got a New Holland out here on display. I believe that's a T6. This is where you're going to come in to sell your equipment or customize it. And there's your store. So, akin to PCSG, where Country Dog is a member, we have the PCSG logo here. And did I already give it away? I may have already given it away. I hope not. So we have here buy points for fertilizer and seed. I really like this trailer. I like this trailer so much, I wish we could have this trailer in game and use it. I just like it. At any rate, so over here we have another buy point. This is the PCSG grain sell point. There you go. So we have the PCSG fuel buy point, and we have the PCSG grain buy point. Alright, let's keep on with the tour. Again, I really like the use of these guy wires on these poles. Sometimes it's just the littlest things will really make a map feel just right. And for me, It's these poles and lines all over the place, because you're going to have poles and lines all over the place in real life in the country. So in here we have a wooded area that you can bring in here and do some forestry and whatnot. And what do we have back here? But it looks like a sell point for logs and wood chips. Conveniently close to the area where the trees are. Nice windy road with elevation changes to get down into there. Looks like we've got a little bit of a road work issue here. Maybe the looks like maybe the road is kind of been washed out from underneath the road, and looks like the dirt's been come out from underneath the road, is now on top of the road. But got to be careful there. So let's make our way. Is there a road? There is a road. Here it is. Is this it? Yep, let's take this. So let's take this road. It leads kind of down the back way of the map. So off to our left, this is the grass meadow that we own. Big old grass field number 13. There's a gate there to get into there, and then this field is a huge field of beets. Holy cow. Are those potatoes? Then there are potatoes. That is going to be a massive effort to harvest that darn thing. Oh, here is our massive field of beets. I think Chasey Dog might be a little bit of masochistic to give us two huge fields of beets and potatoes to potentially do a mission on. We're going to go ahead and check out the specs of these missions and see how utterly painful it might be to run those. But they should give you a very nice chunk of change, that's for sure. Alrighty, so this is it's not ready to harvest yet, so we don't know. Let's see, how big is it? 14.65 hectares, $1.1 million. And this one's 14.88 hectares, $1.2 million. So they're not ready to harvest yet. So we won't be able to earn quick money quite yet. So directly in front of us is the cow area, and I think the sheep area. Yep. So our cows and sheep are directly in front of us. We're going to, we could go through the gate and make a short path up to it, but we're going to drive around here. Because I want to drive through this wooded area and come back around and come into the cow area through the proper entrance. We're going to jump in first person view and drive through the woods. So the reason I want to drive through the woods is just to basically we've got these, we've got bare forest land, and then we've got wild flowers, wild bushes. And for those that are playing seasons, these are going to change with the season. So as we go into winter, these will die off and they'll be kind of dead, tall stalks of weeds and bushes. And as we come into spring, they will come back to life. So you'll see they'll kind of, I guess, look like this, maybe, during portions of the year. So I want to come through here because I really like how this this house has been set back in the woods, this wooded area a little bit, kind of a little bit off the road. Got a nice greenhouse back here, a nice tool shed. We got a truck with trailer and a car here. And then across the street looks like we've got a semi. Got a truck driver. Might be home between jobs. And a bright red Ford F-150 truck here. And we've got this nice tree here. I don't know what kind of tree this is. That's the worst part. I don't know these trees, but nice tree here in the yard with some wildflowers. It's just a nice area. Shows a lot of attention to detail. There's not a lot of town on the map. It's pretty much farming. It's rural, very rural agriculture. Sorry about that. Sometimes I have issues with words like that. So that's a driveway into the main farm. Okay. And here we have a nice pond beside our pig and cow, or sheep and cow area. Alright, so let's go ahead and duck on in here. So cows are on the left, sheep are on the right. Let's make sure we keep them segregated. So we'll go in here, and this is where we will buy our cows. And this gate will open on up. Let's go ahead on in here. Follow this little path around to this other fence. And then that opens up into the big grass meadow, field 14. Here we have a grass trough. Let's go ahead and come back around and close that gate up. Close up that gate. So here we have the other feed trough here. And here's our milk fill point. I'm missing something here. I'm missing something very important. Oh, here it is. I drove right past it on the way in. Here's our water trough. We've got some boards put up here to keep our cows from walking through there. Here's an electric fence. Nice fence treatment. So over here we have our water trailer leading down to the pond where we can fill up with water. A nice little dock, if you will call it. We can sit out here and just admire the nice country view. Imagine what this would look like. Where are we facing? We are facing north. So we would have the sunrise from over here, and we'd have the sunset from over here. So this would be a great place to just sit and relax and prepare yourself for the morning work, or relax and chill out from the day's work. So here we have Robinson Pond, bait and tackle shop. Well, not bait and tackle shop, but the bait and tackle building. So over here we have our sheep area, water and grass, our sheep loading. Okay. And our wool spot is right here. So there's our sheep. Alright, now let's go ahead and check out some more details around here. So we have our slurry manure here. We have our loading wagon and one of our tippers. Here we obviously have the silage bunker for our cows. I already pointed out the milk fill point. We have manure. And this is our slurry pit right here. So this is where we're going to come and draw our slurry. Our bale trailer. And this is kind of our storage building for grass work. We have our mowers, tedder, windrower, baler, and wrapper. We have our one of our Vultras here with forks. We have bucket, pallet fork, bale fork, and leveler. So everything you need pretty much for your animals to care for your sheep and your cows, right here in this convenient spot. Now let's make our way down. We've got 2 more points of interest to point out, and then we'll be done. Nagce Valley. We got a little winding road here. I like that this road isn't just straight as an arrow. Kind of winds back and around. Big old field there. Looks like we got a little storage building or something off into the distance there. And we better not run into the back of the fence. So here we've got a milk truck parked here. This must be the milkman's house. I'm glad that he's nowhere close to our farmhouse. So here we have the buy point for hay, straw, and grass. Right here. Okay. We have a buy point for, or not a buy point, yeah. They will buy manure. You cannot purchase manure here. They will buy it from you. So this is a sell point for manure. Here's a sell point for your compost. Here is our animal buy point, Farmer Vincent's stockyard. And Farmer Vincent, he's quite the entrepreneur. He also has his smoked meat house right next to the stockyard. Poor cows and pigs that may not get sold may find their way into the smokehouse. Poor animals. So here's where we will buy our animals. Got a nice loading gate into here with scales and whatnot. And then in here we should have a wool buy point and our milk fill point. Alright, so let's head on over to the final sell point. Nice sign here, farm fresh milk. Everything's nicely laid out. All of this looks very, very American. It's very obvious that this map is intended for to represent American rural farmlands. So this particular structure, I want to pay very careful attention to. So we come up to this sign. We have Nagce Valley Grain. To the left, we have the grain store. Now, in this context, this is not store like you buy something. This is store as in storage. And to the right, we have grain sale. So, if you want to, if your main silos are full and you want to store more grain, you can come down here, go to the left, okay, and dump in here. And you can fill up right there. Okay, let's check the trigger. Okay, so this is storage. You're not going to be making any money if you tip into there. Now, if you want to sell your grain, let's reboot. Come back at this from a different angle. Alright, if you want to sell your grain, you come up here and go to the right. And tip in here. and this will sell your grain. You'll get money for it. So don't come to the right if you want to store your grain. This is where you sell your grain. So I just wanted to point that out. It can be a little confusing, but we just need to try to be clear and make sure everyone understands where you buy, or not where you buy, but where you store and where you sell your grain. So that's it, guys. That's Nagce Valley. Thank you for watching. If you like this map, look for it over at PCSG starting July 21st, which is tomorrow, if you're watching this on the day that this map or this video releases. Again, I was given the wonderful privilege of being able to have a pre-release copy of this map and to do this video for you guys. I hope you enjoy it, and if you did, please click the like button. If you're not a subscriber, please consider clicking the subscribe button. We do map videos every Tuesday and Thursday. So until next time, happy farming.